What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Ultra League submitted to the channel by Mario Plumber 014, who's running yet another triple XXL team with a level 51 Thievul, Decidueye, and Toedscruel. Now Thievul is a very interesting Pokemon, being the only usable Pokemon to learn the combination of Sucker Punch and Night Slash, the other being Purloin, which doesn't get to a very high CP, and it has a great coverage move in Play Rough. However, those are its only two charge moves, making it a very predictable Pokemon. It is actually very strong in the Open Great League despite not seeing that much usage, so let's see if that transfers over to the Open Ultra League. Anyways, with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Which Pokemon that's really strong for the Open Great League are you most surprised that it doesn't see much play in the Open Ultra League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Thievul into Skeledirge. So this is a positive matchup for us. The opponent going to be choosing to stay in this matchup here, potentially core broken by the Thievul, and we can see why they come in after landing a few Incinerates. Now this is going to be a slightly more comfortable matchup for the Feraligatr, as Hydro Cannon will put us into potentially farm down range, if not for the Feraligatr, then at least for the Skeledirge. So we actually shield that up there. We've gone for a Night Slash. Now we're full sending Play Rough, and Play Rough gets the KO there, but they come in with their final Pokemon, a Fury Cutter Calissa. Now, unfortunately, we are a bit soft to the bug typing. We have two Pokemon weak to it, and then best case scenario, we've got the Decidueye, which we can align here, but it's still going to take neutral damage from the bug typing. So we come in with that Decidueye. We're going to be forced to no shield here, as the Skeledirge does have some residual energy already. They fire off the X's, they swap back into Skeledirge, and now we're going to go for very good timing there, throwing 3 Astonishes, making sure not to panic. We can now go for one more Astonish, then swap, transfer the damage onto our Toedscruel, and as well, Toedscruel is very bulky. We can tank a Shadow Ball there. The opponent probably should have gone for a Torch Song, but it doesn't matter, as now we can shield the next one, go for that Mud Slap farm down, and you can see we're actually not on Wrap or Seed Bomb. Instead, we're running Acid Spray, and Acid Spray gonna grab that final shield from the opponent, drop the defense by 2 stages, and unless they've got 2 moves here, we can come in, one more Astonish, gets the farm down up against Calissa, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see Ampharos in the lead, so a neutral-ish matchup for us, but we can outpace them to the first charge move, regardless of what they want to throw, as it will always take 3 Volt Switches. But the opponent going to go for a Trailblaze here. If they're on Brutal Swing, potentially could have looked to throw on CMP, but instead looking to go for another Trailblaze, and as a result, again, we outpace them. We are able to get the KO. They come back in with a Cobalion. We're going to bank a Night Slash before swapping into Decidueye, and we're actually met with a Giratina, and this is not a bad matchup for us, especially since we are running Astonish and Spirit Shackle. So we're going to go for one Astonish there, once again throwing on good timing. Spirit Shackle going to be shielded, and it looks like it drops the defense as well. So Spirit Shackle number 2 grabs both shields from the opponent. No defense drop this time around, but we are in a very good position. Dragon Claw coming through. We expect the opponent to swap back into Cobalion, so we're able to swap out in time, catching the Charge Beef onto our Toedscruel. Just going to be a Sacred Sword. They've got back-to-back moves here, but it doesn't matter, as we can tank these very comfortably. Even if they do reach another Charge Beef, which they will, we still don't need to use our first shield. So we're going to no-shield this. Going to go for the Earth Power straight away now. Earth Power is going to get the KO there. And then, of course, the opponent recognizing we've still got 2 shields. There's nothing they can do, and so they just concede the match. But heading into the next battle, another Skeledirge in the lead, and this time the opponent not going to be making any swaps there. Instead, staying in, we can go for a Night Slash. Night Slash grabs the shield, and we can actually tank anything they throw here, even if they do go for a super effective Disarming Voice. But they go for Torch Song. They're now going to swap into Lapras, so this does explain why they did not swap out straight away, as of course, we take double resisted damage from the Psy Waves on our Thievul, but unfortunately, they full sent the Ice Beam there. We're not on Frenzy Pump, we have to full send a Brave Bird, and Brave Bird does at least grab the final shield, as it actually probably would not get the KO. So at this point, we come back in with the Thievul. We are going to shield the Sparkling Aria, and we need 2 Night Slashes to get the KO here. So first Night Slash coming through. Night Slash is actually going to get the boost there, so this is definitely going to get the KO now. Of course, Night Slash takes out the Lapras. They come in with their final Pokemon, but it's going to be Auroras, and this is actually really problematic for us. We've got a Pokemon that, yes, we can deal super effective damage in return with Mud Slaps, but we are taking double super effective damage from the Ice typings. The opponent fires off the Weather Ball there. They're going to fire off the next Weather Ball straight away. So, of course, we're going to have to shield one of these. They can swap back into the Skeledirge, but we are 3 away from the Earth Power, and vitally, we do not take any damage from the second Incinerate, which means we've put ourselves into range where they cannot farm us down, but we're able to Mud Slap, farm them down there, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we can see Greninja in the lead, so we are going to, of course, hit for resisted damage with the Sucker Punches. We're going to swap out here, catch a Hydro Cannon onto our Toedscruel, and the opponent is going to swap into Typhlosion. So, of course, we are running Acid Spray. Acid Spray not going to do much damage, but it should be grabbing a shield anyways. It drops the defense by 2 stages, but unfortunately, we do just barely miss out on reaching a second Acid Spray. But with that Acid Spray there, a single Astonish should get the farm down, so all that energy goes to waste. We shield one Blast Burn, they don't reach a second, and they actually come in with their final Pokemon, Clefable here, probably expecting us to have Frenzy Plant, but we don't have it, so this is actually great for us. We're keeping our Thievul away from the Clefable. They full send the Moonblast, they swap back into Greninja, and now, of course, we can come back in with that Thievul. The opponent fires off the Hydro Cannon, which we can tank. We're not going to overfarm here. Instead, firing off the Play Rough straight away, we go for an Undercharge, but unfortunately, it still gets the KO, and as a result, I think what we were trying to do is put them into range where we can farm them down with the Decidueye, but now unfortunately we only reach a departing Night Slash. We do have the Spirit Shackle loaded, but I don't know if this will get the KO here. Spirit Shackle doesn't get the KO. They live with 1 HP and a Dream. They've got a ton of energy, but we call that it's a Swift Bait, and as a result, it's double assisted. We're able to tank it, shield the next Charge Move, go for that Astonish farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we can see a Shadow Drapion in the lead, so we're going to bank a little bit of energy there, then swapping into our Toedscruel, and the opponent is going to fire off a Crunch before swapping into Galissapod. So once again, unfortunately, not a great matchup for us. We can only go for Acid Spray here. Acid Spray is actually going to grab a shield, though. There is no reason for Galissapod to shield in this matchup here. Worst case scenario, it's a Seed Bomb or a Wrap, and both of those aren't going to do that much damage anyways. But either way, we are definitely going to take that. At this point, we can probably no-shield one, shield the next charge, and then commit to a full Astonish farm down after landing that Acid Spray and debuffing their defense. So we're going to shield the next charge move here, and we are committing to a full Astonish farm down. And remember, we don't have Frenzy Plant. The opponent probably not expecting a Brave Bird, so we full send it. It does huge damage. We swap into our Thievul, and the opponent swaps out at the same time into a Feraligatr. But you're going to see this is a positive matchup for us. We are, of course, persisting the fast move damage. Whilst Night Slash didn't do much damage there at all, these Sucker Punches are going to add up over time. You can see we very comfortably tank the Hydro Cannon there, and so the opponent just concedes the match. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Talonflame in the lead. This is definitely where we want to see it for this team. We can outpace them to the first charge move, throwing after 7 Sucker Punches, throwing on good timing, and firing off the Night Slash. Of course, we're going to have to shield here as the opponent is going to go for a Fly Bait there, but they're now going to swap into a Tentacruel. We can bank a Night Slash, come in with the Toedscruel here, and of course we can just no-shield as they do not farm up to a potential Blizzard. Now, if they farmed up to the Blizzard there, we would have had a very difficult decision to make, but now we can full send the Earth Power. Earth Power gonna be shielded, and actually, if this is another Scald, we should be able to live this and reach yet another Earth Power, but we're actually gonna overfarm. They do debuff our attack there. It doesn't really make a difference. This will still get the KO, so the opponent actually gonna double shield there, flipping switch advantage, but the opponent blind throws a charge move. This is just gonna be a Scald that is resisted damage. We're now actually gonna swap back into our Thievul. I'm not sure if I agree with that play, but we can go for a Play Rough. Play Rough is going to connect. It does big damage, but we are going to go for a Night Slash. I'm not sure I agree with this play, though, as Night Slash is resisted damage, and now the opponent can commit to a full farm down if they've got Stone Edge. This is probably game over, but the opponent doesn't throw there. They instead swap into their Talonflame. Can we commit to a farm down? No, we're actually going to go for the Spirit Shackle. I don't know if I agree with this. Spirit Shackle, yes, it gets the KO, but if they've got Stone Edge, I believe they've probably got enough energy for back-to-back charges anyways, but they go for a Leaf Blade. Clearly, they don't have Stone Edge. They must be on Leaf Blade and Sacred Sword, and as a result, we can take 2 Leaf Blades, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, and we're going to see a Belly Bolt in the lead on Sucker Punch. So since we are resisting the fast move damage, I assume this is probably a positive matchup for us. However, of course, if they do shield the first charge move, we're going to swap out, and for whatever reason, the opponent's not able to react in time. They go straight for Parabolic Charge. That is triple resisted by the very bulky Toad Scroll. That did, like, honestly, that gave us more HP than we started with. But they're going to come in with a Guzzlord. We can go straight for Earth Power, and Earth Power is going to connect. Now, we should be able to take the next charge move as well, so we're going to no-shield this. They fire off a Dragon Claw there, and we can bank a charge move, swap back into our Thievul. I don't know about that play. Maybe you should have just thrown the charge move there. But either way, we are going to see the opponent comes back in with the Belly Bolt. This is fun with us. We can go straight for Night Slash. Night Slash, not going to do too much damage here. We did have the opportunity to throw another one before they boost up the defense, but instead, opting to overfarm just slightly. Fire off another Night Slash now. Night Slash unfortunately puts us into range, but they can farm us down rather than the other way round, since we didn't get it off before they boosted up the defense there. But we do have a slight energy advantage on our Decidueye. The opponent is going to look to try and make a catch there. It backfires as we're actually not even running Frenzy Plant anyways. Now we're going to swap out, go for Acid Spray. Acid Spray, we don't expect to grab a shield here. However, we're not on Frenzy Plant, so we kind of need the defense drop. We're now going for Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle is going to drop their defense by a third stage, and that's just going to guarantee the win for us, as now, even though it's non-stab, Brave Bird up against a 3x defense debuffed Pokemon gets the one shot up against that Lapras, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we're going to see a Malamar in the lead, so a fairly good matchup for us. The opponent's going to say swap into Guzzlord once again, so once again, going to meet them with our Toad Scroll. Essentially, just keeping this away from our Decidueye is going to be great for us, and whilst we do have, of course, coverage with Brave Bird, it's not a great matchup there, so I actually don't expect us to use any shields in this matchup, and actually, maybe at this point, we will just shield once, commit to a full Mudslap farm down there, coming out with a ton of loaded energy. So the opponent is going to wait out their Switch Lock here, thinking about what to do. They are going to come in with their Malamar, and we're going to go straight for the Acid Spray. Now, Acid Spray is not going to be shielded, so possibly should have just full sent the Earth Power, but we swap into our Thievul, and we're met with a Tentacruel. Now, Night Slash is going to connect. We can reach a second Night Slash here, looking to throw on CMP, winning CMP with the Thievul, and Night Slash number 2 actually gets the attack boost. At this point, we are now looking great, as we can actually just no-shield this. The opponent goes for Scald. We can still reach another Night Slash before they fully farm us down. Night Slash gets the KO there. We're going to leave minimal farm for the Malamar, although, of course, we are double resisting the Psy Waves, so they do still get a decent farm there. But, unfortunately, our catch attempt does not work out. But what it does do is allow us to reach an Acid Spray. An Acid Spray, they're going to no-shield it. They've already seen the Acid Spray. But now we can come in with our Decidueye, the opponent not throwing on the best timing. They fire off the foul play, and again throwing straight away, giving us 2 Astonishes in for free, which means one more Astonish gets the full farm down there, and we're able to take that game. So into the next battle, we're going to see Rayquaza in the lead. So this is a very spicy and cool pick for the opponent to have. They've also got the best buddy on that Rayquaza, which is not nice to see, and it's also a shiny, so cool flex. We are going to shield here as they go for a breaking swipe. Unfortunately, debuffing our attack, they swap into Belly Bolt, but we can hard punish them with our Toad Scroll, and we've seen this a few times. Parabolic Charge does pathetic damage there. Honestly, I am sure we've gained HP, but we're going to fire for an Acid Spray. Acid Spray, not going to do much damage, but it offsets the boost to their defense there, debuffing them by 2 stages. Now they boosted up once more, so they are back at their regular defense stat, which means we can fully Mudslap farm them down. We come out with a decent amount of energy, but that energy isn't going to be very useful up against this Rayquaza, as Acid Spray just doesn't do much damage there. We do force them to throw, though, which is great for us, as Earth Power wouldn't really do too much damage, although they are double debuffed there. But anyways, they swap into their final Pokemon, a Shadow Alolan Ninetales. We bank very close to a Night Slash there, I believe. We come in with our Decidueye, gonna shield the first charge move, and we're going straight for Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle, gotta be no-shielded, but it drops the defense, and that is huge for us. We get the full farm down, and the opponent recognizing it's gonna be game over, and so they just concede the match. Now going into the final battle of this video, a great Pokemon for the entire team to face, actually. They're gonna say swap into Tentacruel. We can once again hard punish them with the Toad Scroll, and of course we can no-shield here, as again they do not farm up to the Blizzard. I would definitely recommend, if you are on a Tentacruel and you see a Toad Scroll coming in, at least farm up to the Blizzard there, potentially force a shield advantage. Otherwise, otherwise you're just not going to be in a great position at all. Now here, unfortunately, we do see a Galarian Moltres, and this is very problematic for the team, of course. Both Decidueye and Toedscruel don't have really any play whatsoever, unless we can land that Brave Bird in the end game, and also Thievul is going to need a play rough to deal any meaningful damage in this situation, but we're going to no shield. They full send the Brave Bird. They're forced to swap back into their Golurk, though, because they did 3 stages debuff their defense, so now we can come in, shield once as they go for a Shadow Punch, now committing to a full farm down. And do they expect a Brave Bird? We are full sending it straight away. Brave Bird is not respected. It near one-shots them. And at this point, we can save our shield for the Thievul. We don't actually need it. One more Sucker Punch gets the farm down, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. And as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way, you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, if you want to take your support to the next level, you can become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments of every video. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has become a channel member already. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.